How do you feel about moose?
Uh, they're awesome. And I miss my foods that I used to not pay for free. That definitely wasn't included in tuition.
Oh yeah, I mean this sounds like a fresh conversation that didn't just happen 5 minutes ago.
Definitely wasn't one you were having with yourself.
Yeah,
Nope.
talking to myself as the 4 a.m. stream you'll see pop up.
Talking with myself.
Yes, I do think Final Fantasy X is a bad game.
Yes, it is.
Fuck,
It's
fuck
terrible.
you. No, no, no. This is the no, shh. This is why. No, fuck you. He's the worst character. Imagine that for an hour.
Oh my god, I hate that game.
Game sucks.
Oron was the best part of that game, which isn't saying much. Oh, and
Riku.
the racist guy.
No,
Yeah,
no, fuck Waka. Waka sucks.
Waka was funny.
Hey, I have a Jamaican accent, but I hate everybody. Hey, and I'm also Canadian. Oh, that fucking game.
Blitzball like made me fall asleep so much.
We all know how I feel about Blitzball and my preference of Triple Triad.
Triple Triad is pretty fucking good.
Good game. Good game. They started selling packs you can get at the store and make your own kind of deck, but I wasn't really sure how it would work and play because you can see the cards because one side would be blue and the other side would be red. So I don't know if you had to like you just decided pre-game on a color and then you'd sleeve the cards and then you just have the cards sleeved. Is that how it works?
Yeah, I guess that's.
Because I know these physical cards exist. I just don't. I never bought them, although I should. In fact, let me see on eBay. They still sell these things. I know Etsy sells fan made ones.
It's not something super depressing. The other day was because like the price of Pokemon cards have
was
gone
it
up so bad.
was it just the internet?
No, they're reselling like the first set of Pokemon cards so people can like it's almost a ascension, but it's starter deck of Pokemon cards. So it's like you can play with Charizard without paying $500. I'm like, oh fuck Christ. Make me wish I should have kept all my cards.
I still have my cards, but where they are, I do not know. Somewhere in this house, there is a box that is full of Magic and Sailor Moon trading card game and Digimon and Anime Mayhem cards.
We need
Just
to find that shit. You're sitting on a gold mine.
nah, Carvel keeps bugging me for my Magic cards because he's a fucking sad man. Sad, sad man. Bro, we have those Magic cards from 20 years ago. They're probably all worth money now, knowing this weird ass Magic market.
I don't like any of this market. It's
Just print the
bumming me the
cards out.
fuck out.
Fuck capitalism. People say that's not a real card. Like, why the fuck does it matter? Why does it matter if it's not a real
Yeah.
card? We're playing the game, and you can see the card, and it's a legit card. Just because I printed it out doesn't mean any less part of the game. Because
Exactly.
I didn't pay $400 for it. Oh, I'm sorry that it's a pay to win game.
Oh yeah, most of your Pokemon cards are probably worth money depending on what like series they came from.
Uh,
But people are paying stupid money for them, and it was like right around 2020 when people were doing crypto, the fucking weird stocks. At like one point, you could go put like people were selling fucking Pokemon cards off sneaker websites.
yeah.
It's
What cards you got,
fucking,
Soul?
I mean, they're not worth much. You should give them to me because we're good
Oh
friends.
yeah, they're worth absolutely nothing.
Absolutely fucking.
I'll dispose of them for you. Complete
Well, put it.
original set. Oh fuck, do you have a first edition?
Jesus Christ! Whoa!
Well, if you have a complete, all the cards in the set are all that's all the holographics were holographic. It wasn't like magic
Get
cards where the
that
random
chick
ones are.
rated.
Yeah, I don't know. Uh,
Get
we can sell those if you want.
yeah.
Go down to your snake
Those are
farm and
selling for more than Vicodin.
I
Not
like
that
that.
I would know.
I like how you know the street value of Vicodin versus Pokemon cards. That's my conversion rate. I got a conversion rate. It's
Conversion
like,
rate.
how many Charizards is this Vicodin bottle?
Me and this random guy at work I had a meeting with today started just like we went off topic and talked about hockey for 20 minutes. It was fucking great.
Like, it's a good sport.
Because he's like, oh, he's like, so do you like the San Jose Sharks? And he was expecting me because I'm like an East Coast guy to be like, no. I'm like, fuck yeah, Nabokov is the man. He's like, wait, what? I'm like, oh yeah, San Jose is my fucking go-to West Coast team. He's like, do you like Joe Thornton? I'm like, yeah. He's like, did you go to that game where he went back to Boston? I'm like, I wish I had. He's like, you're probably glad he didn't. He got fucking kicked out 5 minutes in. I'm like, what?
Okay, I am looking at somebody selling a lot of triple triad cards, and it looks like they are in fact double-sided, and there were sleeves that looked like the back of the cards in the game. So I guess you would just sleeve the color that you'd be playing that round.
Find me a Wonder Swan color.
You want a Wonder Swan crystal, and
Find me a Wonder Swan crystal
I have one. You
that
can
I can buy off someone for a reasonable
you can
price.
get them dirt cheap in Japan if you want. What you preferably want to do is you want to get like Wonder Swan color, like you said, but buy the LCD screen that's backlit because the
What I
Wonder
need to
Swan
do,
the crystal isn't backlit either. None of them are. So you can get the color cheaper and replace the screen anyway. But what do you want on the Wonder Swan?
I don't know. They're cool. I've always wanted one.
Oh, the coolest shit. I love Wonder Swan, but it's a very niche
Um,
system with very niche games.
oh, 100%. It's been one of those like systems I've been thinking about buying since I was like fucking 19, just because they're neat. It was that one and the Neo Geo Pocket Color I thought were
Both of
never.
those had a very short run with black and white games and then re-released the system with a color version. So you have
You can
like,
buy them on the Switch now too.
yeah, there's like 20 black and white games and the entire library after that's all color. It's kind of
Uh,
funny.
the game on the Switch is fucking great. I downloaded, not downloaded. I bought it. Yep, yep.
Piracy in my own
Ve-
dojo.
very great. Yep.
I actually own like a ton of Wonder Swan games. I like Wonder
Great
Swan a
system.
lot. There's a Square game. It's a strategy, like a turn-based strategy game that's kind of like Fire Emblem, but it's based on it with airships. And it's a game I've always tried to dabble in fan translating, but I cannot figure out the encryption they use with their packages on the ROM file, so I couldn't extract any text. But it's been one thing I just kind of I hope somebody does it because it's a cool game. It's called Blue something. Blanket on the
It's
name.
to dive back into that Super Nintendo Metroid Zelda because I thought of like I've been going in my head because I'm crazy about other fucking chests we missed. Like, I bet you there's more that I'm not thinking of.
What are you talking about?
The Zelda Super Metroid.
Oh, the combination thing. Yeah, we can give that another
Yeah,
go.
that's been like on my mind since we did it, and I've been like mapping places in my head that I'm like, oh, we didn't try there. We didn't try there.
Uh, oh, yeah, here it is. It's called Blue Wing Blitz is the name of that game. It's really cool. Give it a shot sometime if you aren't afraid of Japanese. It also had a really good version of the first four Final Fantasy. I don't know if they did Final Fantasy 3 in the one and so on, but they definitely did 1 and 2 and 4. And they're very good versions. They're the versions they use that are they use those versions to port to the PS1 and then the Game Boy Advance versions.
We're going out of order, but this is just because I saw you playing 6 yesterday. Did you make mods to be able to change the icons, or is that just because like that was the only thing that bummed me out about the remake was I thought like the menu system was kind of fucking locked down.
Yeah, I changed the font. I changed the menu to be a transparent black. I got rid of the one that was
Okay.
red bordered. It's now white bordered.
Oh my god, that's so
Um,
bad.
I replaced the character icons in the menu and some other small things. Nothing too major. Just it one thing changed the way that what the fuck's his name in English? Blitzman.
Oh, Saban.
Oh yeah, Saban. His name is Marcius in Japanese, so I use that. Uh, it changed the way his
What a
inputs work.
what a weird thing to fucking take out. That was like my biggest issue was like I couldn't wait to go back into the game and make my like green marble background, and then I was like, oh,
Yeah,
oh, there's nothing.
I got one mod that was it had like a full it was very weirdly made. It was like go into this folder and look at the window that you want and then rename it to this file and move it to this folder and then change the way you want the window to work and like fuck that. It got stuck blue. Everything just was stuck in a very opaque bright blue and I couldn't get rid of it, so I deleted that mod and got the one I have now and it's fine. It's basic white frame around a translucent black background. It looks nice.
Okay, game.
Yeah.
I was
View
just curious. I saw you did that. I was like, what the fuck? What? What?
What's a view bot? Well, why is it advertising? I know what you're talking about, Raiden.
LOL Viewbot advertising.
Raiden.
I wish we had advertising.
If we do, I mean, we're not paying people shit, so.
Oh,
That's
hi. I offer promotion of your channel. Oh, yeah, there is.
Oh,
Ha, that is
hi. I
hilarious.
want to offer promotion to your channel, followers, views, and chatbots. Yeah, no thanks, buddy.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Someone go fuck with it.
Uh,
My price is lower than any other competitor. For the same thing as
hello and
gold farmers from back
welcome
in the day.
to episode 46 of Digital
Jesus Christ,
Deliberations.
is it
Today
real? We're like,
is
wow. Wow.
still March
3/14.
14th.
Yes, it is.
It's Pi Day. I almost bought a pizza. I almost fell into the hype, but I did not.
I ate half a pumpkin pie
I mean, that's literally a pie. Can't fault you for that.
and pizza. I did it all today.
No, you doubled up.
I doubled. I fucking was just like, I'm going for it.
I like pizza. I should get a pizza. I typically, I'm one of those lame people who likes to reserve a day of the week. And we used to do Fridays, would be the day we got food out. And I just kind of eat out every day because I'm a sad, lonely man. But
I made pizza. I made it at home.
I didn't have any pizza today. I could
The
have.
kid, the kids love it. We grab some of those crusts and they put the
Crusts.
cheese on. And kids are vegetarians. We put peppers on our pizza.
Gross. Eat a cow, you wusses.
I'm gonna eat the rest of the meat in my freezer and see if I can go vegetarian. It's gonna be an interesting thing because I like meat a lot.
There's plenty
Tom
of
calls me.
alternatives nowadays that are good.
Yeah, there is. There is.
Yeah.
It's not just like bullshit like veggie burgers.
I found good chicken strips and I found good, like decent chicken, like, kid style tenders, but I have not found like a good, like, chicken wing or anything like that, anything more advanced than that. And the one thing I do miss is chicken. I fucking love chicken. I miss it
Yeah, don't tell me
severely.
that. Like, don't tell me that. Wings are my favorite fucking thing in the world. I have like,
They
I eat.
have vegetarian wings, but I never really liked them. You can give them a shot and see how you feel about them.
God, I fucking love wings.
The cool thing about it is it's kind of an experimental phase right now, so a lot of people are jumping into it, and every month or two you see a new company having their own product. It's not too terrible, and the prices aren't as bad as they used to be.
I thought it was really cool when people were making the steak and using beet juice for the blood alternative. I thought that was pretty fucking creative.
Yeah, I've had some good steak. I use it to sometimes I'll make rice with steak and stuff, and there's good chicken alternatives. I usually use tofu because tofu's not bad. All those years of people saying tofu was gross as shit. I'm like, nah, it's pretty fine. I don't know what people are bitching about.
That's pretty
Being
solid.
being a soy boy and all that.
Like, I'm not a big fan if it's like. It took me a while because I think I just had it not prepared well.
I cook my own. What I do is I get the firm or extra firm. I'll press it for about 15 minutes, get all the water out, slice it up into like a grid style kind of thing, then fry it in a frying pan with sesame oil. It more or less absorbs the flavor of what you cook it with. So if you take like a marinade and you like marinate overnight or something, it'll absorb all that flavor and it'll be whatever you want it to be. I just use a barbecue sauce, or sorry, a teriyaki sauce with a nice sesame oil. It's good stuff.
Sounds delightful.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's probably the healthiest thing I eat, so I'll take it. It's also cheap.
Cooking with Thomas.
Tofu is only like $2 for a brick of it, and that'll get me 2 meals. Rice is expensive though. Fucking hell. Of all things, why is rice so expensive?
Is it going up in price again?
I don't know. I pay $50 a bag.
Damn.
A bag will last me about maybe 2 months.
Oh, okay. That's not too
I
bad
mean, all
then.
things considered, it's pretty cheap, but just the idea that a sack of rice is $50 is a little a little silly to me. You remember video games?
Yeah, I was talking about video games, not rice.
Cooking with Thomas. Apparently,
That's
Square Enix has called for Forspoken sales lackluster. Not with the actual number, but they were disappointed in the sales of the game that was very oddly slandered for a solid 2 months now.
yeah, they didn't really.
It's apparently the worst game ever made, according to the internet.
Is it that bad?
No, it's perfectly fine. It's a perfectly fine game. I do not understand the hate behind this game. It's a single player action RPG. Play as a sassy girl from New York.
What's the big deal?
I have no idea. People just latched onto this game and just like were savage on it. I do not know why. I guess it's cool to hate Square Enix right now. I mean, they do make some very odd choices, but they've also put out. I talked about this. I don't know, maybe a month or two ago, but Square put out a lot of games last year. A few of them were trash, but a good chunk of them were pretty good. I liked the Dio Force Chronicles, or the hell that was called. They did fucking the Bravely Default 2. They did something else that I enjoyed, and I'm blanking on all of a sudden. They released that Theatrhythm Switch game this year. Crisis Core, which I didn't talk about last week, but I've been playing that. That's a really good remake. I don't know why people are so fucking down on them. I mean, they have their weird NFT game coming out. Looks like garbage, but what can you do? Just don't buy
We
it.
need we need new IPs. Why won't you release new IPs? These are the worst game ever. Bring us Final Fantasy. Why are you only doing Final Fantasy? Shut the fuck up, internet.
Yeah, if you want new IPs, let's talk to Activision.
Oh my god.
So
Oh my
you
god.
like that there Call of Duty?
It's like the more you push Square, the more they're like, see, we fucking told you.
I mean,
Fucking
they released a lot of new IPs last year.
well, I'm just saying, they're one of the one company though. If you push them into doing something new and then no one buys it, they're like, see, like Deus Ex, uh, really good game, but not enough people bought it, so they go see, fucking Crystal Dynamics with because that's SquareSoft, isn't it?
It was up until
Um,
the recent selling of it.
Golden fucking Suns, the not Suns, the Marvel game. Really good game. Not enough people with the Edios, Midnight Suns.
Midnight Suns was
Still
not.
good.
That was for access.
Oh, my bad. I'm just saying. Square typically,
All right.
if
I have
their game,
a list of games that's Square released last year. Something called Voice of the Cards. I don't know what that is. It's probably a mobile card game I don't play. The one of the highest rated expansions for Final Fantasy 14. Star
that's
Ocean
good.
6, really good game. Harvestella I did not play because I'm not into much into the farming games. Strangers of Paradise, which is one of the stupidest, goofiest games I've ever played, and I enjoyed it. Triangle Strategy, which is that kind of Fire Emblemly, it has that pixely
Oh yeah, yeah. That
voxel
was
look
supposed
to
to
it.
be pretty.
Yeah,
That was
that's
supposed to
fine.
be pretty
I didn't finish that one. I played for a little bit. Crisis Core Final Fantasy 7 remake. Valkyrie Elysium, which is a game I have not played yet, but I did buy and have been excited about. The Pixel remasters, at least some of them. I don't think they did all of them last year. They did half of them, I think, but all like 1 through 6 were all remade into a way people
good. Oh
actually
yeah.
wanted instead of those weird
They did the
smudgy
Final Fantasy
ones.
Rhythm game this year. That game's really fucking good.
Which game?
Final Fantasy the Rhythm game.
Theatrhythm, yeah. The Chrono Cross remake, which wasn't even a remake, it was an odd port.
No,
I'm not gonna count that one.
please don't.
I didn't play Dragon Quest Treasures. They released Dragon Quest X Offline was a Switch game, so it's you can in theory play the entirety of Dragon Quest X offline on your Switch. There's no English patch for it. I've been waiting for one because it's the only Dragon Quest game I haven't played. uh, in Live Alive. So you had
Oh yeah.
a bunch of games from Square last year that weren't all fucking NFT nonsense like that.
I'm alive. I
Chocob.
remember that game.
Yeah, it was a Super Nintendo game that we didn't get here, and then they brought it over, made it all new and shit. Chad Wood. Yeah, I don't know. Square does a good job. I don't like their business practices, but they make good. It's like Nintendo,
No,
where there's like have a terrible company around them, but they make good software.
I just feel like they're afraid to like. I don't know. Whenever they put like a new IP and if it doesn't sell me, it was like with Tomb Raider, they're like critical failure. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Those games were great.
They blamed all their Western games as being underperformers. So it was just the way they could validate to their shareholders and stuff. It was a scapegoat.
They hate our games. Make less PS5s. Why aren't they buying PS5s and the PSVR?
They did they did the that shitty Avengers game. That was the Square Enix release for Marvel.
Oh, that was so fucking bad.
Did they publish Guardians of the Galaxy? I want to say that was also
No,
Square, but maybe not. I actually don't remember who developed that game.
no, I don't think so. I think that was ported out. Let me look.
Uh,
No, I don't
Goal.
think so because it was on Guardian. It's on fucking Game Pass. It couldn't be.
You do know Square and Sony are two different companies, right? You keep mixing them. They're not the same company.
Yep, you're right.
What are you talking about? Uh, EDS Montreal. Yeah, it's a Square Enix
Okay.
release.
So Sony.
No, Sony doesn't make
I'm just kidding.
games. They make
I'm
movies
just
and
kidding.
call them games. Speaking of which, I watched that new Sony game that came out on TV.
Oh, Last of Us.
Yeah, Last of Us ended.
I liked it.
It was perfectly fine. It was the game, but in TV form.
It. I could watch Joel murder people for hours. That was fucking perfect.
Yeah,
I
the
just.
nitpick people have had about that last episode are so fucking stupid. Like one person was going off like, you don't understand his conviction. They didn't show the scene where he walked back to the car with Ellie. Like, you saw him murder everybody with a stone cold face and then have a fucking crisis when he was dealing with Marlene. Like, what are you talking? Spoilers for The
Yeah,
Last of Us, but it's based on a fucking 10-year-old game that didn't deviate from the story at all. So,
and they like what fucking conviction thing? Like, what else could they have done? They even did like
he knows
they
he was
added.
wrong, but did what he had to do for his own selfish reasons. Like, yeah, they conveyed that pretty fucking well in that show. I don't know
I
what you're
thought
talking
they
about.
I thought they portrayed it better than the game did by inserting that fucking early scene with the mom and her getting giving her away.
Yeah,
I'm like, that was better.
the mom thing was I don't know. It feels like it's like
What?
the
Yeah,
chosen one kind of syndrome thing. Like it's a
yeah, it was
fucking
a little.
Japanese RPG or something.
I think it was the only way for them to really go into the fact that they've been trying to figure out a vaccine, and like they kind of did that a little bit more into the game on why, like, besides Joel going on the murder spree. But let's be honest, anyone played The Last of Us, there's one key moment in that movie, that part where you should not feel bad for those surgeons. Do we have enough power?
Okay, my whole thing with the end of The Last of Us is the plot makes no fucking sense because this is a post-apocalyptic world with a rundown hospital in the middle of fucking Utah. There is no way they can mass produce a cure and distribute it to everybody in the fucking world. They cannot do it. It's impossible in that world. They will not be able to do it. The plot's stupid. He did the right thing.
This is what happens. Oh shit, we killed the girl.
We're going to murder this woman and try to study her brain to see if we can find a cure, maybe. Like, you ain't curing shit for 20 plus years outside of functional hospitals. Okay? We ain't mass producing nothing. What are you talking
Hey
about?
guys, we've been busy trying to survive from these clickers, so we're gonna do the first lobotomy in fucking 50 years. Good luck.
Fucking give me a break.
Oh my god, when I heard, do we have enough power? I'm like, that's why they all deserve to be murdered. And that's why they're kid murdered. Do I have
Dumb.
enough power? Oh my god, so
Dumb.
what do you do if she's crashing?
Dumb.
So you guys have been trying to survive for 25 fucking years. You know nothing except for the fact that it lives in the brain. So you're gonna be able to develop a cure with no computers or databases or real sciences.
Even beyond that, even if they could do it all manually, how are they going to distribute that shit? How are they going to mass produce it? There's no fucking way. What are you
Do,
talking about?
do they have one subterfuge?
What? A what?
A subterfuge, the thing where you have to do blood and shit like that to do all the testing to make like it. You need to have like a decent lab of scientists still alive who have been researching this shit. Like, I guarantee there's no one around who's just like still fucking like surviving
Yeah.
and like still keeping up with the science of this for like the last 20 years, going, oh man, I've been studying these harvest things. If we kill this one thing with the virus in them, we should be able to make them like. Oh, it's so far fetched. That's why I didn't feel any badness about her, like them murdering everyone. I thought it was so perfect. I was like, yeah, kill them
Yeah.
all.
What a shitty set of guards. Whole
Oh my
hospital
god,
against one guy. Couldn't do
they're
it.
all bad. And like he's just like tucking around places with like fucking no cover and just blasting them with the assault rifles and picking up their guns and just keeps fucking going.
It's pretty badass. That was some
Oh
fucking
man,
left, right wing justice right there. Just kill them
yeah,
all. Fuck it.
they took your daughter. They took his Darcy. They didn't want to do the vaccine.
Goddamn liberals and their goddamn vaccines. The government's supposed to pay for that?
Joel was right. I told Katie, I'm like, I can't wait till people see next season.
Yeah, they said they have at least 2 more seasons in them, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Not a lot happened in the second game.
The second game was the fight, the chase scene, and then pop goes the weasel.
Yeah, so like the only way I can see them doing 2 seasons, unless they did a season of padding where it's unrelated to the games, is they could do up until the end of Seattle,
Um,
then take post Seattle and make it another season. But that seems like it's going to be very, very weak as a season of TV. So
they split it up to do with Abby,
you
and they
take
split it up.
unless they just do like the Lost thing where season one was one side and season two was the second side. They could in theory do that, but it probably wouldn't
Yeah,
be very interesting.
or you could split like just splice it instead of doing the Abby episode like they did in the game and her. Just
Just flip
splice
flop
them
it.
together. So, yeah, so they're like almost running into each other at parts, like borderline.
But that's not 2 seasons of TV. That's still a single season.
Oh, that's like it's a single season.
No, like to say the way Druckmann said it, he sounds like another
Yeah,
fucking Kojima with this fucking I want to be a Hollywood movie writer kind of shit.
I just don't see it.
Yeah, if you take out all the gameplay, like how this show took out all the gameplay and just did all the story beats, two isn't that long of a game.
No, it's just a lot of running around through buildings.
You play the same story twice.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, so I don't know. Uh, I disagree with you, Ryden. I do not think Avengers had a solid story, single player campaign. It was good until it wasn't. Until you got the Hulk, once you did the whole Hulk thing, it became a shitty open world game that was not fun to play. I did disagree with the great campaign. I liked it up until then. It was a strong beginning.
I liked how supporting Kamala Khan's dad was.
Yeah, what a bro.
It was nice having a optimistic father in a Marvel game that doesn't die immediately after supporting their family. That was pretty good.
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
It's a nice change of pace. Going, Kamala, you're very smart.
Jumping off the
Not like,
Marvel
yeah,
train here, I have some news about DC and how the Suicide Squad game was delayed again. And I'm like, I don't care,
I
personally.
didn't know there was a Suicide Squad game. I thought the only Gotham game we needed was Gotham
Um,
Knights.
well, the team who made the original Gotham, the Arkham games, Rocksteady, they were working on Justice League Kills.
Okay.
Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, I believe the title of the game is. It looked like shit ever since they have shown it, and I did not like any of Rocksteady's games up until now. So
I didn't either.
it's not a
I feel like
game.
no, they're not fun. Everyone loved them, and I feel like I was like, eh.
I went on my rant before, but the combat sucks. When Batman can be beat up by petty thugs because you didn't punch the guy with the exclamation point above his head is a stupid fucking combat system. It's dumb. It's fucking terrible. And people would always say, "Oh man, that battle system was really good. They know how to do a good beat 'em up." Like, no, it's fucking terrible. If you want a good beat 'em up, you do Yakuza. You do something like that.
No, 100%. A Yakuza Batman game was what we need.
Oh, that'd be great. I'd play that. Batman
I'd
just
play
whips
the
the shit out of
shit out
people.
of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be dope.
All of a sudden, you just pick up like a fucking trash can and just start wailing fucking bad guys with it.
So I guess it was slated to be May 26th. So I guess they pushed back from then, but still in 2022. No date confirmed. For all you people excited for a very mediocre looking video game. That's what those games you look at and like, this probably cost a lot of money.
Like Avengers.
Like Avengers, it probably cost a lot of money. I don't know if we talked about this last week. I can't remember when I got this news story or if we did in the podcast. Curvels was here last week, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we probably did not talk about it because I'm sure you would have ranted about it. But Dark and Darker was the developer in Korea was raided by the police.
It's dark and darker.
That's the game where it's a dungeon battle
Oh,
royale.
that game that everyone has been playing?
Yeah, I don't know if people are still playing it. I haven't played it in about
Were
2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, you were playing it. Yeah, the one that you got shot in the behind with.
Yeah, when Curvels kept shooting me with arrows and blamed me for getting away despite the fact I can't see him.
Why do you get raided by police?
Yeah, that kid sucks playing that game with. What a buzzkiller, man. Playing with Taylor, me and him having a good time, and he's just like, "Get out of the way! What are you doing? You gotta go this way!" And just like yells at you and shit. Like, fuck you, man. He's not
The
even
night
here.
that we were
He's not here to
playing
defend
games.
himself.
the night we were playing. He's like, I can't hear him. I'm like, oh, okay, we'll have fun.
Dude's chill until he's not. Uh, I can't
Why
remember
you get rated?
why they were rated. I read the story like a week ago. Uh, I'm live reading. Saying the process. The police raided them. They were looking for something they couldn't find what they're looking for. Oh, Nexon, the big
Yeah,
old Korean like behemoth that releases all those free to play MMOs and stuff. Said they stole assets from them, and the Dark and Darker has claimed they have not done no such thing. So, yeah, well, that happens. Don't fuck
it's
around
become
in
okay
Korea.
for someone to steal assets of a company to make their own games. Game companies will have no choice but to cut back on investments in new developments, said the executive of a major game company who wished to remain anonymous.
Mr. Anonymous strikes again.
Ah, don't steal our shit.
Uh, let's see here. Playdate, it's raising its prices by $20. That is a system.
Ooh.
Despite the fact that I am Mr. Niche Electronics, have 1,000 things. Like on my desk alone, I have like 80 things. I had no interest in the Playdate. It's it just did nothing for me. I mean, it's
That's the
cute.
crank
And
system, right?
yeah, it's a little Game Boy
Yeah, it's
looking
fucking
thing
weird.
that has a what's the screen on it? It has a fancy screen. It's black and white, but it's not e-ink, but it's something like that. It's very vibrant. Uh,
And you never owned the games, right? The games were like released in seasons of the device.
uh, yeah, they were released in a weekly base. I think every week they'd have set seasons, and they already did their season. I think they announced they're doing another season, but there's no guarantee. They never promised that. But there is a developer kit and stuff. People can make their games, release them online. You can just throw them on your system. There's no restrictions on that kind of thing.
Oh. We don't lose them.
Yeah, I don't know how the actual official games work. I assume if you have them, you have them. This thing doesn't seem like it has a lot of security in it. It's kind of a super niche thing. It's not really
Yeah,
it's not trying to sell you anything.
I saw that. I was like, what the fuck is this?
People,
It's it.
people have been releasing their games on itch.io and stuff like that. It's interesting. It's just I don't know, man. The crank is not a thing. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to play the game where I crank. The only game I'd play is a fishing game.
For some reason, it like reminds me of like the dad who was like back into Commodore or like original computing shit and is still into it. He's like, look, they released a cool game for you. Like, cool, dad. Want to go play Fallout? He's like, no, I'm just gonna stay over here.
Why you have Reagan on Taylor?
That's pretty much what I just said. That's Taylor. Yeah, I just made Taylor in a nutshell, in
he,
an imaginary character.
he's also not here to defend himself.
He doesn't need to be. He knows that. It was a shout out to him.
He's probably too busy playing Commodore.
Programming Commodore 64 games and testing them tonight. That's where probably Taylor is.
You know what my favorite
Or
game is on the Commodore 64?
Popeye.
The 15-minute loading phase between starting the game and when it actually starts. It's great. It has a nice soundtrack.
Was that Commodore's? Was that the Commodore loading soundtrack?
Yeah, it's great.
Sounded really good.
Oh yeah. Sometimes it would fail while loading because it's temperamental and the tape player sucks ass. It's what a miserable system.
Oh yeah, that was the one with the tape player that you had to like that supported the audio, wasn't it?
It had tapes, it had cartridges, and it had a third form of media, and I'm blanking. Oh, cassette, like floppy disks.
Weird.
Yeah, yeah. The point of them was, at least in Europe, they sold for like £5 for a game. It came on tape. It was, it wasn't high quality products. Europeans love those fucking things. I don't understand. I guess it's just what they were used to. I went back and I played Specky games. I played Acorn games. I played it all, and they're all fucking bad. Every so often you'd find a cool Commodore 64 game, but just like the barrier of entry to just playing a game is ridiculous. It's not worth it. If you run an emulator, you can get like a decent speed, and even then you play them for like 5 minutes. Like, yeah, this is what this game was.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not really missing out on much.
And I'm not a guy who just, straight up hates old games. I love old games, but there's a certain polish that was, you play a Nintendo game, like an NES, a Sega Master System game. They have a level of polish and controllability and design that's cohesive, coherent. It's
Oh,
good. It's good
exactly.
stuff. You
Yeah.
play these games, they're fucking always the most obtuse shit. Is like 18 keys that they're not explained to you. So you're smacking the keyboard trying to see what does what. They're slow. They usually look like shit. There's some nice looking games on the Commodore. I'm not gonna say there's not, but for the most part, the best thing about most Commodore games is they had really cool soundtracks. Like if you play the port of the game Commando, it had a fucking bomb ass soundtrack.
If you say so, buddy.
I do say so. I have some Commodore games. They have the classic RoboCop theme that they used in that British fucking washing machine commercial. Then they then used again in Dilbert 3, one of the best Flash videos.
Or when RoboCop showed up in WCW and fought alongside Sting for no reason because they were getting Bash of the Beach was supported by RoboCop in the movie for some reason out here.
That was my favorite Commodore 64 game.
I thought so.
How do you feel about Microsoft?
They're pretty cool.
Are
Why?
they? I don't know. More shit going on. Uh,
Oh no, not
Jim Ryan pretty much stopped trying to find excuses about the merger and saying he just doesn't want it to happen. He's like, I just don't want it to happen. Fuck that shit.
guys. Stop asking me questions. I think they're douchebags. All right, Bobby Kotick is a cunt, and we don't want to do this with them anymore.
Yeah, it's like I can't find any legal reason to stop it, but fuck them. Don't let them do it. It's a good story.
I woke up and was like, no.
I want YouTube. I want an article so I can read it and explain to what a more cohesive way of what he actually said, but it's not popping up. Whatever. It pretty much comes down to Jim Ryan just saying, fuck them. I just don't, I don't want, I want to block this merger by any means, personally. Not any legal bounds. That's what I got for that story. I'm going to move on.
Good stuff.
The System Shock remake was delayed again. That's another game that I think I've already paid for on GOG, if I remember correctly. So add that to the list of games forever delayed on games I pre-ordered for some reason. Up there with Vampire the Masquerade 2.
Oh. Heartbreaking.
What was the
I wanted,
problem behind? I
uh,
know there was some kind of controversy behind the System Shock remake, and I can't remember what it was.
I don't know. I remember the vampire one was because the developer was a monster.
It was the writer, I think.
Writer, yeah.
And they had to fire him and I guess rewrite the entire game. I guess that's a valid reason to delay a game. You know,
It was
those
during yeah, it was right during the Me Too thing when it was coming out during COVID, and this company did the legit good thing you're supposed to do when that shit happened instead of trying to back up their developers and be like, and they took this project that had been delayed a bunch of times. They're like, fuck it, fuck this dude, and fired him. I thought that was really cool.
yeah. It just says another 2 month delay due to polishing and new features they want to put in and all this stuff, which is an interesting thing to do to a remake of a like what 1998, 1997 game when the first System Shock came out. It was a while
Oh god,
ago.
forever ago.
Yeah. System Shock 2 had an HD update, but it didn't remake that one. But that's the one that people liked the most. With Shodan or whatever the AI
I
was.
don't
The
remember
original AI
playing.
Menace.
I don't think I've ever played a System Shock.
System Shock game's good. System Shock 2 is very menu driven, so it's a first person shooter, but there's also like menus to navigate, so it's a little complicated, especially with the I think it came out like 99 2000, so it's dated. And the HD remake didn't really HD re-res, I guess you'd call it, wasn't really a remake. Didn't really address it that well. So it's still kind of hard to play, but it's a good game overall. It's clearly the inspiration for BioShock.
I should give him a shot.
I know you didn't do well in BioShock.
I saw the ending from Bioshock a mile away, and I just didn't want to play it anymore.
Because the story is the reason why we play video games.
Me, it is. At least that's gonna be that one.
That's weird. It has a good gameplay. Let me tell you the ending to BioShock Infinite because I don't fucking know.
I still can't.
Multiverses.
Yeah, that was a weird ending.
You played Infinite?
Yeah, I finished it.
Yeah. Did you play the DLC?
No, I need to because I heard it's probably better than the main story.
Yeah, I said that. That was me. I'm the source.
Was that you?
That was me. I stand by it. It's good ass DLC.
It's just in.
Bleak Faith Forsaken has had some problems this past week. They've had I believe they were pulled off of the Epic Game Store. Well, they pulled off. I'm not exactly sure what happened to them firsthand, but their assets were stolen from Dark Souls, I believe. Either Dark Souls, or Elden Ring, some same From Software game. What they did was they bought their assets off of the Epic Asset Store for the game, and they end up being from there. Like the person who uploaded them to the store did steal them from Software games. So
Oh no!
they didn't directly steal from them, but they purchased and used a legitimate thing that ended up not being very legitimate. So they have pulled those assets. For Epic pulled the assets off the store, they pulled the assets out of the game, and they redid the assets and said, yeah, we didn't know, we're sorry, and that's not cool. We agree. This shouldn't be a thing. We were
That
duped.
happened in The Witcher. Would someone accidentally put in new vagina
Oh yeah, I heard
into
about
the
that.
game?
You know, they wrapped up a bunch of mods and put them on, and
Yeah.
yeah, they take the vaginas
And one
out.
of them was a vagina mod that made it more realistic. And they're like, oh yeah, we didn't mean to include this in the mod. Taking it out, and again, it's like, I want credit for my vaginas.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play it now if I don't have the most realistic vaginas available to me.
I was just gonna say, you can fuck on a unicorn, but you can't have a more realistic vagina mod. Come on, come
Censorship. What was that one I heard
on.
about censorship? Fucking, what do they do? They actually in Resident Evil 4, it's like you can't look up her dress now. You can't see her panties or something. And you know the the Reddit community's redditing about that. Now it's censorship and all this shit. It's fucking sad.
That's gross.
Yeah, yeah.
Go install your naked mods on on one of the Resident Evil games, you fucking
I
weirdos.
assure you, the first week of that game being out, there will be nude mods and
God.
all have you.
There's already nude mods in the fucking village.
I'll zoom mods on all of them. What are you talking about?
All of them.
Resident Evil 3 with just big titty Jill running around naked. Like, yeah, it seems realistic. That's how
Yeah.
you do a zombie apocalypse. You know, you run around naked.
My God, and then people are just like,
My
"This is hot." I'm like,
immersion.
that's fucking gross.
Don't ruin my
Like,
immersion.
she's probably stepping on glass. You guys are mean.
Terrible. It's like fucking the weirdest Die Hard remake you've ever seen.
Oh shit, she's not prepared for this at all.
Classic. Bougie. Ratchet.
That's why I was just like, my Jill is hot when, I don't know, relaxing in a mansion where she's not potentially going to get killed by zombies. Maybe sitting on a beach somewhere happy.
It's the worst when you have the fucking weird anime games where all the kids are fucking young as shit, and Japan's weird about that shit. And then when it comes to US, they put like more covering clothing, and people scream censorship. If you remember the vagina bones incident, for example.
I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, is Rebecca even like 18 in those fucking Resident Evil games?
I think she's 17 in Resident Evil 0/1. That's the only
Yeah!
game she was in, I think.
Don't look up her dress then, you fucking pervs!
Yeah, it doesn't sound weirdos on the internet.
Let's just prevent this. Let's prevent not looking
All right.
up.
All right, this is
Yeah.
here's what we do. Hear me out here. No more women in video games. All right?
No!
Wait, what do you mean? It solves all the problems. You can't look up a non-existent dress.
Thomas, you're the problem.
I'm just giving solutions, man. People want to scream censorship. I'm just telling you how you avoid that. You just take out all the women, nothing but men.
Oh, man.
It's like children. They only take out children all first-person shooters for like 2 decades. It's the next step.
It's so degrading. Where is she gonna keep her knife? Like, you can't wear a utility belt while naked. What the fuck, people?
I have not watched any hentai Resident Evil porn videos. I'm sure they exist, but I'm unfamiliar.
I will report back next week.
It's like when they were talking about the censorship with Cammy because she has pants in Street Fighter 6. Love it. Love it. It's
It's
called costume design, you fucking morons.
also called It's a Leotard, and maybe she wants to change the character after 20 years.
Yeah. You have to wear the exact
Like,
same outfit.
are you
Like,
guys gonna be so fucking pissed off if all of a sudden Zangief puts a t-shirt on? Or jeans?
Paul has his hair down in Tekken 8.
Like, I can't believe you guys are hiding Zangief's cock.
Was was
I I deserve Russian cock.
was Paul's hair down in Tekken 7? I can't remember. I barely see
Um,
Paul using that game.
no, I thought he was always up in that weird fucking guile thing that he was doing in that game.
'Cause I know Tekken 4 hit one of his costumes. Can't know. I don't remember if it's the default or the alternative, but one of his outfits had his hair down. But yeah, this Tekken 8 footage with down hair Paul. I don't know if I can get behind it. You need
I like
the 5-story flat top.
I want to make a Paul that looks like fucking Fat Thor, almost if they combined, like if Paul and Rufus became friends for 10 years, and it's just like that's where Paul is just like they both come like tumbling out of like a KFC together. I think would be the best evolution of Paul.
They already have that character. His name is Bob.
Just get over here.
Bob is
We're gonna hang out.
Bob is in Tekken. He's existed since 6.
Oh, does he?
Have you never played as Bob?
I thought it was Rufus. Wasn't that Rufus?
Rufus is Street Fighter.
Okay. Oh yeah, there is Bob. Well,
Rufus is the best fighter in North America. Ken
him and
Masters
Bob.
is nothing on Rufus.
I think it would be funny if all of a sudden Bob like comes up to Paul Phoenix. He's like, "I heard you got a divorce." And he's like, "I didn't." He's like, "I heard you need a divorce." And then they just like go on a bender, and it just shows like 6 months later, and it's just Paul and Bob just like the same size. And like, yeah.
Apparently Meeks is bringing a havoc behind me with her squeak toys.
I can hear. It sounds like you're in a fucking pet shop.
Some would say.
I think my dog's passed out. Yeah, she's passed out.
What are you playing with, Meeks? Oh, you playing with the... Oh, you found your bone. She found her squeak bone. Haven't seen that toy in a while.
The dog has been running the puppy 500 through the snow all day.
It was mostly rain today. She was running out in the rain for a bit, but it's not good to have a wet dog.
Let her out during my like break, and I just see like her head bobbing up out of a fucking snowbank. I'm like, come on, Sky. She's like, what? Yes, we all do deserve Russian cock. I agree.
All right, you take out all the women from video games, you add in more Russian cock. That's how you win the hearts of everybody. I know
And
Russia's doing very well right now. Everybody loves Russia. They're very hidden.
Solve the Cold War again.
Yeah, it's not. They're kind of doing a very hot war at the moment. I don't know if you heard the news, but yeah, it's not so cold.
Hot? The war's hot?
They're actively in war with a country called Ukraine. You see, it's another country. It borders. It's southwest of Russia.
I thought you were making a pun. I was like looking for it. Like, where's the joke? It's just sad. I'm like, I was waiting for the punchline. I'm like, I think he's just gone the sad route.
Well, you see, Cold War is when there's no active combat. It's all stockpiling and what's the...
Well, so here's the story. It's like, think of a map where you've got two armies, but it's like little cocks dressed up in like Russian hats, and then you've got the Ukrainian cocks dressed up in whatever Ukrainians wear, and then they're fighting the Russian cocks in like the biggest cock battle ever.
I don't even know what they're talking about chickens. I don't know what's going on.
No, we're talking about actual cocks.
Oh, okay.
Penises marching with like even penis tanks, like da da da, whatever a Russian anthem is.
And there's no women in this game, right?
No, just cocks.
Okay. Genital jousting does exist. It is a video
There's the
game.
woman who takes dick pics. They're wearing a little dictator outfits.
Dictator. I get you.
But 100% they're solicited dick pics.
This podcast is off the fucking rails.
She's the dictator.
Yeah, I just said that. I thought you intentionally made that pun.
No, it's...
What are you talking about?
I was taking credit for it. I just heard it. I was like, that's a good joke, and I'm going to say it in a confident tone so people think I made it up.
Let's see here. Blooper Team, people of such great games as Blair Witch and that shitty Xbox One game.
Yeah, them.
Xbox. That
Hmm.
the fuck was the name of that game? I played it. It was like the only game you can get on the Series X for a long time because I didn't have anything else to play. You played it as like the psychic lady, the medium.
Oh, I was gonna say Ghostwire Tokyo, but
Eh,
that's not
no,
right.
that's a different game. Anyway, that great team. They're the ones who are tasked with making the remake of Silent Hill 2 because Konami is bad at making games nowadays, and they chose the appropriate team to do such a thing.
Why is that?
I have no fucking idea. I'm sure they approached them and say, "Hey guys, we clearly want to make Silent Hill 2 since this last game we made was really harping some Silent Hill vibes, and we made this game. Can we make that game?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're Konami. We don't give a fuck. Is it a pachinko machine? If not, you can do it. Whatever. Just give us some money for it." And now they're doing it. But apparently, according to Blooper Team, Konami knows what they're doing.
Like Konami has some of my favorite games ever created, and then all of a sudden they were just like, "We're gonna do a Contra fucking rail shooter." You're like, "What?"
Was that game called The Medium?
I think. Oh my god, it might be the Medium.
Is that the name of that game?
I'm almost positive.
Uh, yeah.
It'd be like a girl, like a medium.
That game sucked.
I just wish we knew what it was called.
So I don't know who was developing the other Silent Hill games. They announced like three of them at once. They did that one. It looks very feudal Japan-y. They did the remake of two, and there's like I don't know a third mobile game or some shit. I don't remember exactly. So that other one has potential. I wonder who's developing it. Maybe if maybe they got an internal team backup. I don't know. But yeah, I don't trust any Blooper Team says because they don't make very good video games.
That squirrel moment, I was like, oh yeah, that's the when Bushido comes out for the PS5. That's like the only reason I need to buy a PS5.
My understanding is they released Ace 3 in Japan, which is a DDR game if you're unaware, and they still make a bunch of B-Money games. 2DX got a new style. Sound Voltex is still coming out with shit. I think they made a new Poppin' game.
Oh yeah,
That
they've done the rhythm games are still hot. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so they're still making games in some capacity. Whatever that dancing game is called, I completely blanked the name on, but it's like a big rectangle on the floor instead of like the four panels of DDR. It's a whole panel, and you do like fucking freestyle dancing on it. It looks fucking sick.
I keep forgetting that like arcades are big everywhere but here.
Oh, you're
So
wrong.
when I
They're only in Japan and not doing great, but those Konami games make pretty good money.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That's not a world thing. That's mostly just a Japan thing.
are they
Uh,
dead? Like are arcades relatively dead like everywhere else?
the big Sega building, the big Sega arcade that was famous down there was at Akabra. I believe it.
Yeah.
I said that like the biggest fucking weeaboo. That closed down, I believe, last year. And I think
Oh
did a
yeah,
different
that'll do it.
company buy it and are making their own arcade out of it? But yeah, of course. But Sega is making their Super game, if you recall that news story from a year or two ago. So who knows what's going to happen? But I don't see a revitalization in arcades.
I think the pandemic kind of fucked that over too.
Oh, for sure. The only arcades I know of are all the Round Ones and the Dave and Buster's of the world. There's not much in terms of other places getting new games. Like we don't have a what was that arcade where people get getting stabbed at in Somerville? Good Times. Like those don't exist anymore.
Oh yeah. I'm still having trouble wanting to go to cons and stuff like that. Like even
Fuck
the idea
cons.
to
What are you
go
talking about? Cons
like
suck.
even the idea of going to like a PAX or something like that just seems fucking bizarre to
What
me at this point.
is a PAX these days? The last few PAX I've been to almost every PAX, and that includes both coastlines. I've never been to the one in Austin or Australia, but between West Coast, Seattle, and Boston, I went to almost every PAX. And after like the fourth year, I was fucking done with it. And they kept getting
Yeah.
worse. They get more crowded and they had less stuff to the point where if you wanted anything, like the first it can't be as good as it was originally, but you'd go there and you'd get like crazy swag. You get t-shirts for nothing. You'd get like all kinds of weird shit. Like I remember that time they gave you that Max Payne like pill, like that daily pill thing. You know how you put all your
Oh
pills in
yeah,
like the
you also
days.
got let's see.
You got
I
the
got a
fuck.
backpack for like Doom. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
a lot of cool
backpacks.
shit.
You got a bunch of this goofy shit, all kinds of stuff, pins, cool lanyards. Now they don't give you a fucking thing. You get nothing.
No,
They make you
no,
wait in
not
the
at all.
lines to play games that are already out, and then if you want a T-shirt or something, they make you pre-order the game at the convention. Like, go to this computer, which I'm sure is highly secure on this shitty Wi-Fi on this
Well,
computer used
100%.
by thousands of people a day. I want you to log in and pre-order this game, and we'll give you a T-shirt. It is beyond stupid, and it's so fucking crowded all day. Like it's not like you can go on like Sunday morning and it'll be dead. No, it is always packed. Nothing to
They
do.
they used to have like panels from video game companies and shit, and now I was looking at the panels and it's like Dave, who's a streamer. I'm like, oh fuck, this is like where we're at. It's just like anyone can do panels at this point because no one wants to go to these. Like I used to go watch like I think the big one I wanted to go to this year was it's the 20th anniversary of Mega 64, but everything's gonna be streamed at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. The only panels I ever went to were the ones with specific game designers. Like I met Suda51 once,
Oh, that's cool.
which that panel was dead. It was like maybe 20 people in that room. It's like that man made No More Heroes.
Oh, we did that
Give him
for
respect.
The Witcher 3 did one. It was like a Saturday morning, or no, it was like Sunday morning, the last day of the con, and it was like game developing tips with like what's the company that does it? What's the company that does like fucking
CD
Cyberpunk and shit?
CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, it was like game development and storytelling with CD Project Red, and it was them just talking about how they developed The Witcher 3, and it was like us and 20 people, and the developer was like, "You guys have any questions?" And it just broke down to like us being able to talk to him with whatever we wanted to do.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. That's the stuff I want to see. Not a
Because
thousand
we had
people
to
waiting
look
in line
for
to
it. I
play
was like,
Assassin's Creed.
yeah, I'm like, that's so cool that he even was like, and you had to be a fan to notice, be like, oh, that's the lead developer of The Witcher. This is gonna be fucking cool, and like, I like stuff like that, but it's so far in between. Like, there's not even a keynote speaker this year, from what I could tell.
I have no idea. I haven't looked at pack schedule at all. My friend works for Devolver Digital, and I said, "Hey, if you need somebody to work, I'll probably be free that weekend, so I'll come and I'll work for you guys." But otherwise, I have no interest in going to PAX.
Yeah,
Yeah, fuck that shit. Lame. I'm also in my mid-30s now, so there's also that aspect of it. In my mid-20s, whatever.
I feel the same way. It's like if I'm gonna go away from my kids, it's gonna be worth it. And I don't think PAX is fucking worth it at this point. As I say that though, I think I'm going for one day because my friend wants to drive down and doesn't want to go solo. So I told him I might stop by and do it.
Gross. Let's recall the days like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when everybody would get a room at a hotel and it'd be like 10 people in a fucking hotel room for a convention. And that back then it's like, oh man, we're gonna fucking have so much fun. We'll have game parties and fucking drink and shit. And now I'm like, that sounds like a fucking nightmare. I want nobody near me. I want to sleep in my own bed. You can
Yeah,
go
that's how
all
it
fuck
was like
yourselves.
5 years ago. I think me and my friend decided that's how we were gonna travel. We're like, all right, we're gonna do this, but we're each gonna have our own bed because like, fuck that.
Yeah, those days are well behind me. The idea of people crashing my room, like, nah, nah, kid, get out of here. Order your own fucking pizza.
Exactly. Bring
Yeah.
your own fucking booze.
I'm trying to think. Like, I enjoyed when I went to places like Chicago. This is when I worked for conventions, and I just did a shit ton of them. I mean, the actual conventions suck, but I liked like that free time I had in every city I went to, where I can just go to my hotel room and like, get like crazy food and see like local stores and shit. But I can't think of
Yep.
any reason why I'd ever do that nowadays. Like, I can't think of a reason to get me to Chicago right now. Why would I go to Chicago? I ain't going to
Yeah.
a fucking anime convention. Like, what do you do?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, Chicago's a cool city though. What else do I got here? That was my rant about fucking Konami. DDR is a good game. You should all
Yes, it
play it.
is.
So is 2DX. I don't understand Sound Voltex. It's confusing and new to me. Even that game is 10 years old now. So the damn kids.
Fucking kids.
There's so many touchscreen games now. They're big old touchscreens with it's just the same shit with fucking different implementation. It's a rhythm game. You got to press the button at the right time, but it's a circle. this time, and there's a big screen in the middle with a touch screen. You can also touch it. It's like what's wrong with the one with the buttons? The buttons work fine. I do want to play that game Nostalgia though. That game looks fucking sick. It's like a kind of a pseudo sequel to Keyboard Mania, where Keyboard Mania was legitimately an 88 key keyboard that was plastered on this arcade cabinet, and then the screen was like a Guitar Hero notes flying at you, and you press the keys, the music, super cool. And Nostalgia is kind of like a new hyper version of that. It looks super sick. I've never seen one in person. I'd love to play it.
That sounds really cool, actually.
Yeah, I love rhythm games, so I'm a little biased here, but something I'd love to play at some point. I do want to go to Japan. Japan I can go to. That there's enough shit to do there. We're like, yeah, I'll pay the money and I'll stay at a hotel because, you know, there's a fucking shit ton of stuff to do in Japan. You don't need any kind of convention or draw like that to go there. Maybe
Oh, 100%.
I want to live out my weeaboo fantasy and wear one of those samurai outfits and go to the shrines and be made fun of by all the locals.
Like, look at this guy.
Look at this fucking guy over here. Look at this fucking guy.
Look at this weeboo.
Yeah, that's what I got for news stories. Something about Microsoft signing deals to bring its stuff to something called the Boosteroid Cloud Service, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck the Boosteroid Cloud Service is, so I probably shouldn't talk about it. What the fuck is the Boosteroid Cloud Service? They run their own. They run their own fucking cloud service. Why is everyone getting involved? X Cloud is a thing.
That makes no sense.
I mean, sure, if it exists, I guess support it. Why not? Get your games wherever you can get them. Money's money. Yeah, it just seems to be some kind of cloud gaming platform. Interesting.
Dollar bill, y'alls.
Microsoft does a thing or two about a dollar bill.
They know a lot about dollar bills.
Let me tell you about fucking Office 365 licenses. In my nightmare job at work, that job. That's all I had to say.
They know enough that they want to get rid of fucking Blizzard to like, ugh, gross, them.
Riddle me this, Microsoft. Ugh. If you make Windows, how the fuck are all the Office programs bad? Explain this to me. Why are they the most unintuitive fucking garbage apps that like to crash? You can't put Teams in your fucking taskbar. If you hit the X, it closes the fucking program. What the fuck is that? What is that? I don't want the window on my taskbar, but I want it to be open if, say, somebody calls me. So I close it to put it in the fucking tray, the system tray, like a normal program would do, like Discord or Telegram, how it just kind of goes away, but you can still kind of see it. It has a little icon if somebody messages me. Why the fuck does it close it? Why is that a thing? Teams sucks. I fucking hate it. There's no good business-based chat program I've used. Zoom sucks. Teams sucks. Fucking, I guess Slack's okay. I'm not going to rag on Slack.
Yeah, I was going to say Slack is the most feasible out of all of them. Teams is the dumbest thing. When I had to switch to Teams, I was so bummed because, like, it has to create an individual chat room for every single fucking thing you want to do. I'm like,
yeah, that part sucks too. Administration-wise, it's nice that it works with your Active Directory. We can make one account and have all that shit bing, bang, boom, have all of your 365 programs just there and be able to be used. That's nice in a way. We have the single sign-on, but fucking hell, the actual program sucks. What was my problem with Teams? I had this incredibly annoying thing with it. I cannot recall what it is right now, but it was something to do with, like, the phone version not syncing correctly without, like, you can't read the messages on the side without clicking the message to open it to have it refresh. It was something like that. Like, it was some rudimentary thing that a person who makes the fucking operating system should not have it with their fucking mainstream apps. It just boggles my mind. They have so much money.
Yes, they do.
Ah, it's so annoying. Outlook is also a fucking nightmare. And let me tell you about Excel. All right, this is the Fuck Microsoft podcast. Excel has gotten so advanced where every fucking time you try to do something simple like edit a cell, it becomes so fucking complicated where you can't do simple keystrokes anymore because then it tries to trigger some other feature you don't want it to fucking do. Like, you want to just copy and paste something. You have to copy it and then you got to right click and then do the special paste. I'm sure there's a shortcut for it, but it's not Control V, because Control V will copy the entire case style and the fucking formulas. It's like, I just want the raw data, dude. You know, the thing pulls out a calculation. I just want the calculation that it pulls out, obviously, because that's the point of the Excel sheet. So why is there fucking, you just can't copy and paste that? What the fuck, Excel? Fuck you. Fuck you, Excel.
Paste plain text or whatever the fuck it is.
Let me tell you about Office. Uh, Office talk. People love talking about Office programs. They love work. Now listen to this game podcast. Let's him talk about fucking Office apps all fucking day.
I love Office.
I did record a tutorial on how to use the program Playnite, and I've been sitting at my
Ooh.
desk looking at it, and I'm like, I should edit this. And then I open the editing software, and it's like, I don't know how to fucking use this. I gotta learn all this shit. I want to remove this part. What? Why? Okay. Why did you? Oh, why did you do that? What? I just want to do. That's what happens for about an hour. Then I give up and play Fortnite or something. One day I'll learn
Sounds,
it.
it sounds about right.
Day one was finding the app I wanted to use. I went through like 4 different video editing apps. I think I settled one called. It's by a company called DaVinci. What's the name of the software? Something. Let's just type in DaVinci. Resolve. Yes, Resolve. It's a free program. It's fully featured. It's fucking great, and you can buy a higher tier. It's a one-time pay license fee, which is something that should come back because I fucking sick of subscriptions. Fuck that shit. I want a program to do one thing. I don't need updates or anything. I just want to. I mean, updates are nice and all, but I don't want to be the way apps work nowadays. This is just me ranting. I love this episode. They work like, even on your fucking phone. You want to buy a fucking file browser, so you just want to browse the files on your fucking phone and do simple things like copy and paste things out of zip files and stuff. You do that, and logically, all right, as ads are pay $5. Okay, I'll pay $5. That's a good app. But you can't even like apps like a fucking file browser are not even letting you do that anymore. They make you buy a subscription. I don't need a subscription for a fucking file browser. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What do you mean? This doesn't have active maintenance on it. I don't need updates. I could browse my files. The fuck is a subscription for? I don't get it.
Premium.
Yeah, I'm sure it's one of those trends that's going to die. It can't. People can't have 18 subscriptions for fucking apps on their phone. You know, this is unsustainable. Plus, everybody's already pissed off with all the streaming apps. Every week there's a new one.
Oh, dude, there's no point of even like cutting cords. It's like I just cut cords now to like fucking basically have a $60 package again.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I just pay for Hulu, and I'm even that they screwed me on. I had the package that had Disney, Hulu, and ESPN, and it was completely useless for a while until hockey started back up, and then XFL is on the ESPN app, so that's kind of worth it. But I don't need the Disney app. Hulu gave me ads again, and I'm paying like it was a bundle. I paid I think $15 to $20 a month for it, which was fine. And then they changed it so it now adds ads back into Hulu, and it breaks all 3 things into separate entities. Like the whole point was a package deal is that I didn't have to deal with 3 things.
Yeah. What? What?
I actually haven't booted up Hulu in months. I should probably just get rid of the whole fucking thing.
Seems really dumb.
Yeah, I like my
Old
hockey.
men yell at old men yell at clouds.
What is ESPN Plus a month? It can't be more than like $6-7. It's not that
10
fucking
bucks. I think it's about 10 bucks.
fucking hell. Yeah, I just
And that's most frustrating because like I love UFC, but if you were to pay for a UFC event, I'm not going to say how I do it. You can just figure that out on your own. You have to pay the $10 a month, and then you have to pay $60 on top of that, and they're raising the prices to $70 a month, $70 per fight. So it's basically $80 a month per fight. And sometimes there's 2 fights per month, so you're looking at $130 a month just to be able to watch it on ESPN versus when they used to do it on pay per view.
you and your blood sports, Neanderthal.
Yeah, I love watching men beat the shit out of each other
Gross.
in a cage.
On a private
Woo
island.
wee,
Ain't no
woo
rules
wee.
here.
Owned by the Saudis. Woo wee.
That's everything now. Nintendo has a good stake of it bought out by the Saudis. They have SNK is like maybe majorly owned by the Saudis now. So there's
WWE has a 5-year $1 billion deal with the Saudis.
so
It's like
it's gonna be an
billion.
interesting like next 10 years of who's gonna throw more money around, China or the Saudis.
I'd probably say Saudi Arabia, just because Saudi Arabia is doing this like humanitarian process where they're trying to say, "Come to Saudi Arabia, like we're good," and they're trying to have like be touristy.
Yeah,
Well,
I have some opinions about that, but I don't think that's the place for it.
no, but that's basically where what the aim is for, and I don't see like China trying to open up its like vacation, their tourism.
I know China's a pretty big tourist tourist attraction. They have like multiple major cities and the Great Wall of China and a bunch of shit. China will take your
So it
money. They
sounds like
they have no obligation.
yeah.
Sorry, no objection to doing so.
I was saying since the pandemic, I thought they were a little bit like more um weary about foreigners coming over.
What window? What are you talking about, Soul? Wait, I don't know what you're talking about. What's sidebar?
Sidebar.
I don't know what you've been playing.
Um, let's see. I'm playing Walkabout Golf again. My wife bought me a golf club accessory for the VR headset, and it gives you some weight to the controller. They've recently released one more map called Upside Down Town. It's my least favorite map so far because like once the ball goes upside down, you have to do the shot and look up at the ceiling and do it that way. Um, I
Is it
like it doesn't let you teleport to it.
is it Stranger Things themed, or just
No,
its own
it's
thing?
just upside down town.
Yeah,
Um, I prefer like if I'm gonna play a game that does a their own like physics based thing that if I teleport to the ball, I'm then upside down. I don't want to have to look up to the ceiling and try to like figure out a shot that way. I don't want the mechanic of the game just to be completely flipped because like, whoa, look at we did everything reverse. Like all the other one, it's okay, but it's just not what I want in my walkabout golf course.
yeah. For like a casual game, you kind of want to keep it, simple.
Yeah, I just want to be able to walk around the fucking golf course, be like, oh, it's Atlantis. Look, there's like seashells and oh, this is really cool. And it was like fucking 2 in the morning. I was tired. I wanted to play golf and I bought it. I was like, oh, cool, there's a new thing. And then all of a sudden it was just like I'm putting from the floor, looking up at the ceiling. I'm like, fuck this. No, I'm good. This I don't want to play a puzzle game. I just want to play golf.
Yeah, I feel you. Happy birthday, by the
Let's-
way.
oh, thank you. I'm also playing through Disco Elysium again.
Yeah, I
I'm
saw
like
you on there.
another hour and a half, 2 hours in. I made the last character I made was like super intelligent and socialite. This one I'm going the complete opposite. I've decided to go lean into psychopath. Basically, I'm making a guy who basically straight up psychopath. He's one straight into strength, and he goes with his gut. And I also am using one of the They have this thing called Inland Empire, which gives you a lot of weird dialogue where you're just basically talking to yourself the entire time. So like you can talk to dead bodies and shit, and people are like looking at you weird. So, and now since they added the voices, that game is so fucking cool.
I've only played it with the voices. I wonder if Soul would like that game.
Oh, I think that'd be a fun one for us all to stream and go review.
Yeah, maybe.
Um,
That need a lot of audience interaction though.
and since we're all into auto shooters, there is one called Yet Another Zombie Survivors.
Mm-hmm.
I played the demo of it, really fucking good. It's going to early access. It's a like it says another zombie survivor twin stick shooter, but in this one, as you level up your group, you get different people to join you. So there's a tank, an engineer. There's also a huntress, which I haven't gotten yet. So your standard survive 10 minutes, but you can like level up your party and the guns and abilities. I'm kind of sick of zombies and stuff like that in this type of game, but this game is a lot of fun. I can't stop playing it again.
I'd say who
Um,
isn't, then I've remembered that I pre-ordered Resident Evil 4, so.
and Dead Cells Castlevania, fucking awesome. Anyone
Oh
who
yeah.
I am 3 or 4 runs into that. I think after we get off here, I'm probably gonna go do another run because I'm at the point where if anyone hasn't played it, you can't do all the Castlevania DLCs in once. There's 4 bosses. I just got to Dracula's castle for the first time, and it scared the shit out of me because all of a sudden it turned fucking upside down, and Dracula was next to me, and then it just went back to normal, like nothing had happened. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like my heart started like pumping really hard because I was like, oh, this is a good run. Oh, that was all right. And then I legit almost shit my pants. It was so fucking cool. I have not had a game experience like that since the Division 2
Symphony of the
where
Night.
you no, like I think I mean in recent times for games that surprised me was like remember that Division 2 mission where you go into and it's like completely dark room and the controller like goes weird and it like disconnects the controller and it's the Division dude who's just like taking over your shit. It was one of those. I just wasn't expecting it. I was like, "Oh, I'll probably run into Drac here eventually." And then all of a sudden it was just like, "Wah wah wah." I was like, "Oh shit." And
Does
he
he
fucked
throw
me
a
up.
wine glass?
Yes.
All right, then it's great. 10 out of 10.
and Alucard sits there and like he joins you in the slums. He's just like, I lost my sword. They've added a lot of cool stuff to it recently too. Hotline Miami's baseball bats in it. You can get the chicken helmet in that now. Add a Shovel Knight's shovel skull like sword. That game is just a game that keeps on giving. I've got 657 hours.
Yeah. I need to play that expansion. I got it. I bought it. I loaded it up. I'm like, yeah, this looks pretty cool. And then I stopped playing it and having not gone back to it. So I will try play a bit of that game.
And let's see, there's two more I'm kind of playing. Super Major Baseball 3. It's the closest thing you're gonna get to Super Nintendo Baseball with like better graphics. I made a team for Tiny Dynamite, and you're doing pretty good. Conan is like one game away from being traded. He's like batting 136. Like he needs to get that shit up, or he's going to like fucking Toledo.
Go in the
Um,
minus, kid.
oh my god, getting fucking rid of that kid. But the rest of the team's doing pretty solid. We're 0-2, but we just gotta get our pitching under control. Our hitting is fucking amazing. It's just our pitching, man. What the fuck? So I'll keep updated on how our team is doing. And there was this cute little game I found. It's called Snowball. It's a little demo. You can buy it for $2.99. And it's literally a snowball pinball machine. If you like snowball, like pinball machines, it's just a cute little fucking flash game. The developers, it came out in 2016 from a developer called Pixel Jam. It's just adorable. You're not gonna get much out of it, but they've made other games like this other game called Nova Drift, which I've talked about quite a bit. EX Zodiac, which is basically a love letter to
Star
Star
Fox.
Fox.
Yeah, that game's good.
So yeah, go support them. It looks like it's one of their intro things when they're really in the early stage of developing, and they've made a lot of cool stuff. And it's just a cute little winter snowball pinball machine. And all of a sudden, I was like, oh shit, I've been playing this for 45 minutes. So
It's not very long. You can get through it pretty quick.
yeah, it's good. I like it a lot.
Yeah. I also like the Space Harrier special levels. I don't really like Space Harrier though, but I like
Oh
I like the stages in that game.
yeah,
They do a better job.
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
What have you been playing?
All right. Well, what Soul was talking about the window was I was trying to use Teams, and then you know how the side panel has like the chats that you're going through.
Yes.
You can see all your different chats on the side panel, and then the main chat is on the right. It kept glitching out where the panel would overlap on the chat window, so you'd only see like the right half of the conversation until I maximized it. So if I either had to use it maximized or it would have that fucking half of the window missing. So good job, Teams. Microsoft, keep it up. I got Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster. I heard it was good from somebody. I can't remember who it
I love it.
was.
It was me.
Somebody who might like Final Fantasy VI a lot.
I
I think it
fucking love
might have been Crevel's.
Oh god damn it! I'm looking at like 2, 5, 8 Final Fantasy 6 pixel beat arts that yours truly made. Because I made Go-Go, Yumaro, Solis. Oh, I fucking made them all. They're great. Continue on.
I did all those mods I mentioned earlier. I got different UI interface looking thing. I changed the font.
That's hard to do.
No, you pretty much just drag and drop into a folder. I changed it so the names are on the top on a little tab looking like thing, like a folder tab kind of with the name on the chat. A big complaint I have about Final Fantasy VI, and it's always been in the game, but they never fixed it, is that chat windows are not broken up in any logical way. So you'll be talking, people will be talking, and you're just going through, but it doesn't like actively do anything to the window to make it look like somebody else is talking. So
it just shows dialogue, so
so dialogue just kind of runs together, and you can't you gotta be paying attention, otherwise you'll just be reading it and like you don't know who's talking anymore because it gets really muddled in the conversation. What they should have done, what would be fucking amazing, is if they went in and did like the what was that game on the PS1? I'm fucking blanking on it.
Oh, the
Vagrant Story. Vagrant Story. So they had like a Vagrant Story little like comic book kind of pop-up boxes with like the little triangle to the person's mouth that goes into the window and it kind of like jumped around the screen a little bit. That would have fixed this like 100%. As
like
it is.
Tactics did something like that, didn't they? Also,
yeah,
Tactics did something similar.
Same guy. So
yeah,
also did Final Fantasy 12. Funny enough. But yeah, the Final Fantasy 6 is a game I like. It's not my favorite Final Fantasy. It's like solidly upper middle pack for me. I like how they did the learning skills where you equip an item until you learn it, and you can take it off and you have it permanently. But Final Fantasy 9 did it as well, and I think 9 was a better game. Uh, I did the thing that you did. I put my controller on the auto
Okay,
attack and
isn't that still satisfying to do all these years
level
later?
level 45 in the beginning of the game. It's pretty nice.
Yep, it's
Yeah,
so good. I was
yeah.
like, "Oh, I'm just gonna tape down my 8-bit Do controller, with some packing tape and let it go for 8 hours."
Oh, I use a rubber band.
Oh, that's even better. I had, what do you call it? Contractor's tape because I was, like, moving shit at the time, so I was just like, "Oh, yeah, I can just tape this corner."
Yeah. Yeah, solid game. I recommend
Anyone who
using those
doesn't know what we're
mods.
talking about, there is a part that's, like, an hour and a half, 2 hours in, and you get to this little raft area, and it gives you the choice. It's like, "Would you like to go up or go left?" You go left, it continues you on. You
You
go
go.
right if you go
It's
up.
yeah. It goes up or right, I think. And if you get right, you'll keep circling through this area that gives you in 3 fights, and it brings you back to that dialogue choice. And it's the first dialogue choice. So if you have a turbo button controller, you set it to keep firing, and you press the button down, and you set the combat menu to memory. So you
Yep.
have Edgar
Auto crossbow,
auto crossbow.
heal,
You have a
punch,
Baron
punch.
use his heal ability, and both
Yep.
people will probably be blind anyway, so they'll miss every fucking shot. But and those keep going forever until you pull the auto fire off and have them go in the other direction, the other dialogue choice, and it just will keep going and going and going. And I got level from level 8 to level 45,
Oh, my
leaving it
lord, my
on for a few
goodness,
hours.
man. I just remember just doing it, and it's just like you come back and they're just like full on for when they do actually hit people. You're just hitting Kraken for like 2 grand. You're just like, this is kind of dumb.
When I started, his auto crossbow was doing like 120 to all the characters, and then when I was done, it was doing like 900. So, yeah, there's no challenge at this point. Although that game does weird things where it breaks up the party significantly. So you have just different chunks of people.
You get a bunch of achievements really quick. Like you've obtained 10,000 gold. You've
Yeah,
obtained.
battle and gold achievements pop off. There's one achievement for getting everybody to level 50, but that can't be helped until you get the rest of the team. I also don't know if it means the side characters as well. I don't know if that's involved in the achievement. I don't think I'm going to fucking platinum Final Fantasy 6 anyway.
I'm going to. Fuck it.
That game is still only available on Windows and Android. Maybe iOS
Is
too,
it
but
really?
it's not on console. Is it on PS4? It might be on PS4, but it's not on Switch and it's not on Xbox. None of the Pixel remasters are. They're coming later this year, so they are coming. I just thought it was weird how a very basic thing that would still sell a shit ton on a lot of platforms is just on 2 platforms. Mobile of all fucking things. It's bizarre.
Well, I got my characters too. Let's see.
That's kind of what the Switch is. This is the put your old games on this thing. I was playing something called a Night Witch, which is kind of a adventure twin stick shooter. It's interesting. You're a character who flies in the air, and you use your right stick to twin stick shoot. But it's also like I wouldn't call it. I guess you could call it an RPG. So it has a story and characters and shops and all this shit. But it's still you fly around twin stick shooting. It's interesting. I haven't played much of it. I will probably play more. It's an interesting game. It does that weird thing I don't really like, where it doesn't have voice dialogue. It's kind of retro looking. It's not sprite art, but it's 2D. But
Yeah.
all the characters will have like voiced like umphs and it's like sound effects and stuff, and that drives me nuts when it doesn't have like the actual voice dialogue, but it does that. Because they should just kind of stick with the theme of making it kind of like a retro style game and have like a digitized kind of kind of noise. I don't know. That always bothers me when games do that. I played a game called Wreckfest. I finally bought it. I don't like it
Great
very
game.
much.
Oh,
I'll have to play more of it, but I played the race where you're on like little tiny golf cart things,
yeah, not fun. Don't do that. Yeah, it gets better.
and
Give it
then
a
I
little bit.
then I did a race where you're all fixed cars, and the 2 cars in front of me could not be passed, and I'm like, this is not fun.
I'm also level 45 in Final Fantasy.
Oh, nice. I let it run from like I don't know, maybe 10 to 7:30 or so.
continue the thing I've been doing for 30 years in that game, where me and you were saving in Edgar.
Do what?
Oh, I'm a nerd. I changed the name of all the characters to people I know, and me and you have
Yeah.
been saving in Edgar for like 30 years.
Oh wow. Who am I? Am I doing the bum rushing?
No, you're the smart one with the weapons, and I'm the one doing the bum rushing because it made more sense.
Yeah, I guess
You
that
know,
adds up.
like
Who's
he's the tech gearhead.
who's Silas?
I don't know. I have to go back. I don't think I have her yet.
Uh, best character in the game.
Yep.
I played the
Worst
Resident Evil.
character in the game. Locke.
Who is?
Locke.
Oh, Locke. Yeah. I mean, you can steal, I guess.
He's okay, but he's like, my girlfriend's in a coma. I'm like, rough for you, bro. Everyone else has had like people murdered. He's like, but she was in a coma. Bwah, bwah, bwah. Sorry.
Resident Evil 4 demo came out. I wasn't going to play it because I'm going to buy the game. I already bought the game, but
What do
I caved in. I was like, ah, fuck it. I'll just give it a play. They're going for. It's like Resident Evil 4 is a weird game. It's a super campy, goofy ass. It's not really horror anymore. It's an action game. It has your creepy stuff, but it's like it's just so overacted and just silly. Like the whole merchant and everything is just the most off the wall, goofy ass shit. But this game has a lot. It's I mean, it's only the part until when you go into the main town and you fight the townspeople, and then he says the line that everybody loves,
Oh yeah.
and they all go inside the church. That's where it ends. But they throw a chainsaw guy at you at that point. I don't think that was in the original. I can't recall that. But yeah, the chainsaw guy comes after you leave the church and you get out the back door. Is when I'm pretty sure is the first time you run into a chainsaw guy. So I don't know if it's just a demo thing or they're actually putting that in the game there. I don't know. But it's a lot more gritty. Definitely, the way they set up Leon, it's almost like he's reluctant to be like a secret agent. It's like, yeah, they kind of made me do this after I got out of Raccoon City and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, that kind of sucks. He was like the happy-go-lucky fucking like smartass, and now he's just kind of like a sad boy.
He's depressed. He's like, I don't know if I want to be a cop anymore.
Yeah, the whole opening is like they changed. It's the same but different, if you know what I mean. Like you go in the house. The house is way more complicated. There's more level of detail. There's more rooms. Things happen differently in there. It's a lot more like kind of. It feels a lot like Resident Evil 7. How that game was a lot more like grounded and like just heavy. It's feeling like that. So I don't know. Like the whole point of 4 was it was campy and goofy. So it's a different
Yeah,
thing. I don't know if it's gonna land. I'll play it. I'm sure I'll be fine. I like all the other Resident Evil games. I mean, it's too early to say how I feel about it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just about gameplay, and
my
it
favorite
played.
Resident Evil.
Yeah, I don't know. People love 4, and I like it. 4 is a really good game. I'm not gonna say it's shitty. It's not Final Fantasy 10, where it's an actively bad
No,
game. Resident Evil 4 is a good game. I really like the older style Resident Evil games, and it's just like a weird
actually,
juxtaposition for me.
2, 3, and 4. I think that it goes 2, 4, 3.
2 might be one of my favorite games of all time. 2 is an excellent video game.
I have to go play the remake because I was being a wuss about it for a while. So
2 remake,
yeah, yeah.
phenomenal, great game.
Like the original is my favorite game, like top 10 games, but like the games have gotten so fucking creepy lately, so I need to just put like 8 lights on and play during the day.
8 was so goofy. I don't know. Like
I heard it.
7 was like the one where it's like, oh, we're trying to actually make this a horror game because the last game was embarrassing. With the whole out war with bio monsters with guns and they turn into giant fucking eyeballs. Like, we're gonna get away from that and make it into in an actual house with scary people. Like, okay, I see what you're doing there. And then they went with 8, which was just 4 again. It was just goofy and silly. Not bad, but 8 was a lot of fun. What else have I been doing? I got the Ghost and Goblins Resurrection on Steam.
Oh, is it as bad as people say it is?
No, it's actually really fun. I don't. People are fucking weird on the internet. I don't get people's opinions on things.
That game got trashed.
Yeah, it plays perfectly fine. It's a fun. It has 4 difficulty modes. It has a very interesting art style. I like it a lot. It's like kind of like I'm calling it a marionette, but it's like this. It's kind of like a marionette animated kind of thing where it's like the joints are all like fucking loosely attached to the character and they kind of flop around a bit and it has like this like wobbliness to it. But it's like they're like how like the torso is a different like cutout of paper than like the head and the arms. They kind of like move how they're kind of detached. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's a nice art style for that game. I like it a lot. The thing about these games, when they make these games modern, people cannot separate like games from 30 years ago and a modern interpretation of it. It's always going to be not good enough. You know what I mean? It's not
yeah.
exactly like a pixel by pixel like character recreation of the game I liked 30 years ago. This new thing sucks because it's different. It might be one of those things because that happens a lot too, and that's not fair. I think the game's actually really good. Unlike that the ActRaiser remake, which I did not like at all.
I heard that was pretty fucking atrocious.
Yeah, that's just it's just a shaky ass port. Not like shaky ass remake. Like they half assed it. I do want to play it
Heard it.
again though.
Yeah.
I also want to play that game that was the spiritual successor to it. I can't remember what it's called, but it was a game that came out before that remake came out, and it's like a spiritual successor to ActRaiser. I'm
Oh
completely
yeah.
blanking on the name of that game.
It
And
came out and then just no one ever talked about it again.
yeah, I'm saying ActRaiser spiritual successor. Soul Seraph. That's what it's called. Do I own Soul Seraph? Because I know I've played it before. I do not. So I'll have to get that game and try it out. I played some more Triple Golf Racing. They're on season 2. People
I
are
need
good
to
at
play
that
that
game
again.
now.
Yeah.
People
Oh
are good at
no.
it, and I get my ass kicked. Like, oh, I did pretty good. Like, no, that guy did beat my time by, half. Oh, cool. It's one of those games now. It's like Rocket League, where it's like the ceiling, just like what the skill ceiling, went way above me, where people are like in the air, just like flying and bounce the pole, and they do a straight like vertical shots and shit. I'm like, yeah, okay, this game's past me now. It's like when you go
Still
to,
fun though.
oh yeah, it's fun. I don't care when I lose. It's just a goofy, fun game. It's like when you go to a party and the kid pulls out the GameCube controller from his backpack to play Smash Bros. Like, ah, fuck.
He's like,
It's
I don't want to play against him.
the guy. This is the fun is gone instantly. It's probably makes him
This guy is
snide.
somewhat ranked somehow. I don't even know where he can do that in this town. He travels. I was
Yeah.
listening to like a podcast today, and they were making fun of him. He's like, "Yeah, I go travel for kickball." He's like, "How much have you made in kickball?" He's like, $3,000 in fucking 10 years. He's like, "Yep, makes sense."
People love K-pop. I want
He's like, "Yeah,
professional
it's covered a few
dodgeball.
bar tabs."
Let's
That
make
would be
that a
cool.
thing. Yeah.
New York, they have professional skee ball leagues, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Skee ball, like the arcade game where you throw the ball into a little circle and get tickets.
Yeah, like they basically have like bars that are set up, and people come in and they'll do their
I don't
like
know.
scores, just like almost like a bowling league.
Bar sports are always embarrassing to watch. It's like when you watch the hatchet throwing and the cornhole and shit. Like, get the fuck out of here. I ain't watching no
Fucking
professional cornhole. Fuck out of
Dar-
here.
oh, dude, professional cornholing might be one of the saddest sports ever because I watched it on Thanksgiving one time. It was like after the dog show or whatever, and they're just like, "Yeah, Sue's 40 years old, past her athletic prime, and now she feels like she has a chance with the United States cornhole team." I'm like, you must be the most annoying person at home.
If you want a sport that's kind of off the regular, but it's oddly like intense, is curling. I don't know if you ever watched curling, but that shit's
I
like
love it.
fucking
Yeah.
crazy intense. It gets so like, oh god, okay, he's gonna make it. Oh no, you swept too much.
Winter Olympics are my favorite because there's so many sports where people can just fucking destroy themselves on too. Because you've got the it's the bone, which they call it, which is basically a glorified sled that can go up to 75 miles per hour, and they put it on the bobsled track. Any of that bullshit, any of the type of like stuff where you could fucking potentially fly off the track and hit a concrete wall. I'm like, yeah, you're batshit crazy. I don't get it, but I love the Winter Olympics for those reasons.
That's just luching in general. That's like fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
I lost my shit
you're
when I
just like
down a fucking like not even that steep of a hill on my sled here.
they're like, oh look at they're tucking their ankles so they can gain another 5 fucking miles per hour. I'd be that guy going, what? What?
Uh, I re-downloaded Marvel vs. Capcom 3. That game is fun.
Bad. Oh,
You don't like that one?
I think I thought that was one that people didn't like, but I thought it was good.
Infinite's the one people didn't like.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
three's fine. I was
yeah,
thinking it was Infinite that was pretty bad.
Infinite I never really played much of. I have it. It's one of those games that nobody ever talks about, so there's like no real chance to play it. I'm never gonna go to a party and people are playing fucking Infinite. If I see Marvel's Capcom with people playing, it's usually 2, which is a good game too. 3 is like a little more user friendly. It's very much here's your 3 combos everybody has, and you can just do what you got to do with that shit. And 2 is a little more try hardy, in my opinion.
Yeah,
People break that fucking game.
way too much. Yeah.
Yeah, I like when games are brought down from like the elite crew, and you can still have fun. Like
I like when the casual
Tekken.
player can have a little bit more. Exactly. I like when the casual player can go in against someone who's pretty decent, but still have like an okay time
You know
and
what
not
game
get.
was surprisingly good? That was Killer Instinct, the new one they
Mhm.
made like 10 years ago. That was a interesting take on a fighting game. It was a lot more, all crew kind of thing.
I thought that was a pretty good game too. I liked it.
Yeah. So the first time I bought like a season pass for a game or whatever it was, like a battle pass, what the fuck it was, where it gave you all the characters and shit.
Oh yeah, that was one of the first battle passes, I think.
Yeah. It's the first time I remember buying one. I think that's about it for me. No, Crisis Core. I played Crisis Core. That game's really good. I keep not talking about it because I keep forgetting about it, but it's they did I would call it a remake. The way this game works is it's still on like the foundation of the PSP game, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. It's a prequel to Final Fantasy VII. It was originally a PSP game. They brought it to modern systems. It's on all the systems, even Switch and PC. I have it on PC. Looks beautiful, like the graphics, the fidelity. They've like remade the game. It is beautiful looking. The way it works is it's an action combat game, real time action combat. There's a world map. You go like there's a map you're on. It's all segmented because PSP games are all like little segmented areas. But you'll get to random battles, and the combat's all it's like a Final Fantasy game. It's real time combat, and also has materia and items and all that stuff you can use, as well as different battle commands like special like what would be like a limit break in a Final Fantasy VII game. But it also has this interesting aspect where there's no explanation for it. It's just a thing that happens. But there's a roulette on the top left corner of the screen. It'll just randomly go off. It'll just pick things like a roulette machine with 3 slots. And if say you get like 3 Sephiroths, you get like a crazy ass fucking like limit break. If you get like 2 Sephiroths and a cloud, you'll get like you have unlimited SP. You can use all the battle commands without any cost for the next 15 seconds and all that shit. It keeps the combat really fresh because it changes so often. So you'd be like, oh, you can now use unlimited magic. So you just be
The
powering
one
off
that
magic
you do
attacks.
yeah, there's one that has an instant death that kills the whole party also.
You or them.
You.
Oh, that sucks. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I had that one happen. I'm like, what the fuck was this?
I don't want that. That's terrible.
No, it's terrible. At least that was in the PSP game, and it was like almost like it reminded me of Setzler's when Setzler did it in I think
Six.
Could Kill Himself. Yeah,
The dice,
and
yeah.
it was something similar. I was like, I don't like any of what?
Yeah. So that keeps the combat fresh. So you keep going and do different things and different strategies and stuff. So it's a really cool game. I will probably complete it again and say, oh yeah, remember when Zach totally died in this game and how he's not dead?
Winky face.
I'm so excited for this next fucking Final Fantasy game, man. You have no idea. It's gonna be so fucking stupid.
I need to go finish it because after you told me the ending of it, I was like, I need to go fucking watch this shit show happen myself.
Oh, dude, it goes completely Kingdom Hearts. It's fucking nonsense for like 45 minutes. Like, what is going on? Why is there a giant heartless monster attacking Midgar? Like, what's happening? Why is
Do you
Eris
think
aware of a fucking multiverse? Like, what's happening?
I thought the same thing was just like, there's something weird that happened here, Cloud. I feel I was like, what?
Yeah, that game is so fucking bad shit. I love it. They have the balls to call it a remake, and they're like, no, the game knows it's a remake. It's like, wait a second, didn't we already do this? So it's meta. I like it. Sometimes I like meta.
Me too. I think when it's done well and it's leaned into the way it should be, I think meta can be really fun.
When it's like, oh, go in your install directory and look at a text file. Fuck that shit. Stupid.
Dumb. Yeah.
Dumb as hell. Yeah. Well, I guess that's what I have.
I'm pretty good too. I have some games that I'm going to play this week. Probably jump in. Maybe we can do a stream on Friday to do some retro or maybe some fighting.
Well, you don't want to continue our River City Girls run?
We could. We just need to get past that section.
Yeah, I need to beat that area. That's a bad boss fight.
I like River City Girls, but that just kind of killed. I was having a bad day. I was like, I want to play some River City Girls with my boy, and then all of a sudden, I was just like, oh, that just made my day worse. And it wasn't because of anything we did. It was just that fucking boss battle was terrible.
Yeah, I had to go through a bunch of Tetris games because Soul wanted to play Tetris, but it had to be a modern Tetris, but not Effect because she didn't like Effect. So I had to go through all the Tetris games. Like, here's the Super Nintendo one. Like, nah, this one's too old. Like, all right, here's Tetris 99, but Tetris 99 doesn't work on the Switch emulator for whatever reason. You'll run the game, but you go into a match, all the Tetris pieces. I don't know if you're gonna be the guy who corrects me. It's like they're actually called Tetrados or whatever the fuck they're called. But
You'll
yeah,
do what the lady wants, and you will like it.
the Tetris pieces have a stupid name, and I can't remember what it's called. But
Tetrino.
yeah, they didn't render, so you'd have the play field, and you can see the effects of them dropping, but you can't see the actual pieces, which in Tetris you kind of need. So
Yep.
that version
Yeah,
was useless.
that would be impossible.
Puyo Puyo
There is a
Tetris.
version of Tetris that's Grandmasters that you don't see it until it hits the bottom. It's invisible mode.
I do not like that mode. I do not like it at all.
There's like
Um,
6 people in the world who have beaten it.
Puyo Puyo Tetris was too weeaboo. Couldn't use that one. Uh, so we ended up going with the PS3 EA release of Tetris, which is the most bare bones version of Tetris you can fucking find, but it has pretty decent music and it has the hold function, which is legitimately all you need for a good round of Tetris. And
Oh yeah.
I'm like, then I started playing it too. I'm like, you know what, this version is actually pretty decent. I like Puyo Puyo Tetris. I can tolerate the weeaboo-ness, but I can see how that is very offsetting for some people. There's a
Fucking
version
super
on the
upsetting for me.
Switch called Tetris Diamond, and I do not own it. I have no idea what it is, and I've never heard of it before. So I don't know if it's anything more than just a stupid version of Tetris, or if it's some kind of weird offshoot that they like to make every so. What the fuck is Tetris 2, by the way?
Tetris 2 is awful.
What the fuck is Tetris 2?
It's so Tetris 2 was the version of it that they made for Nintendo and Super Nintendo later on, and I think it was supposed to like go against. There was another puzzle game at that time, but yeah, it was. They added
Puzzle
bombs.
League?
They added bombs and a bunch of other shit. It's just a bad game. I hate Tetris 2.
I might load it up and play it because I'm very curious what the fuck Tetris 2 is.
It's a fucking audacity of a game.
You know what Tetris game is kind of fun
Travesty.
and I actually like for some odd reason is Tetris Sphere in the N64.
Yeah, that's a good game. Me and my friend play it. Our Katie's best friend Johanna has it, and during the summer when we're just shooting the shit while we're like killing time, we'll play that against a bunch of rounds of that against each other.
It is odd. It is a very bizarre game, but it's oddly
And
satisfying to
relaxing.
play. Yeah, it's cool. It's such a weird game. I'm not a fan of the N64, so if I'm saying N64 game is pretty good, that's like high praise.
I felt the same thing. I was like, oh, this is gonna be kind of stupid because it's like not just because it was the N64, and no, Johanna's like, no, you really have to give this game a shot. It's a good Tetris game. And then all of a sudden we sat down and it was like 2.5 hours later. We're like, fuck, okay, yeah, you were right.
How that game works, it's a 3D sphere, and the pieces go like in towards it, and it'll have like a field with little holes in it that are multi-layered, of course, because it's Tetris. So you got to go around the sphere and put your pieces in, and you can flip them around like you could in Tetris, but it's like you're looking at the sphere as your point of view. So you're like kind of shooting the Tetris pieces like as a first-person shooter into this sphere, and you want to break the levels and get down to the middle of it. It's a cool game. Yeah, I start a new job next week, so I'm still working on all the travel plans for that thing. And I do not want. I see a lot of public transportation coming my way because downtown Boston with a car is not great. Plus, parking everywhere around my job is like $450 a month. I'm like, fuck that shit. So I'll probably
Yep.
be taking the train. And I have my Miu Mini, and that because I don't want to be the guy with the fucking switch on a train. That's a little
Steam Deck.
that's a little much. You know what I'm saying? I have a severe complex. I'm already out in public, and I don't want to fucking top that off with bringing up the fucking biggest goddamn nerd gadget you can own. So I'm not bringing that fucking thing on the train. No fucking way. So I have a thing called the Miu Mini, which is a little tiny guy. It's a little. It looks like the original big boy, or I'd say more like a Game Boy Pocket, but shrunken down to like 1/4 its size, maybe. The little guy. And this thing runs up to PS1 games pretty well. No real problems with them. And the only complaint I have with it, well, there's two complaints. Not really a complaint, just a feature I'd like is Wi-Fi. There's no Wi-Fi on this at all. It's just an SD card you plug into this thing, and it runs the games right off the SD card. The second thing is it's a little too small. So they have a thing that I pre-ordered for another batch because it came out this month, but I'm getting one next month called the Mew Mini Plus, and it is slightly bigger to the point where it is more usable and acceptable, and it also has Wi-Fi in it. And the Wi-Fi is good for
Oh,
me
nice.
because I have a thing where I hate starting new games on 1,000 devices, so I just won't
Yep.
play games at that point unless I can sync my save among devices. So I have a program on my computer that will I have a lot of devices on it, but it's on my server and it syncs to all my computers. And it just pulls the
That's sick.
folder, the save files
That's
from all
awesome.
my emulators, and will store them on my server and push them out to everything else. So I turn on
Fuck
my
yeah, that's great.
yeah, so all my like my Switch saves and all that shit are all synced. So with the Wi-Fi on this new one, and it runs a version of a Linux build more or less. So I will be able to just hopefully I haven't run this thing, but my understanding is I can install this program on my device and it'll sync my saves to it, and that's way more interesting to me than
Hell
just
yeah, that's fucking awesome.
adding ROMs and shit because I already have the ROMs on there. It's not a problem.
Especially with RPGs, if you're gonna be playing like a Pokemon or a Zelda, you never want to fucking start your game over every single fucking time.
Yeah, especially if I'm doing PS1 games and shit. I don't want to deal with that
Yeah,
shit.
no. Just name like a PS1 game you can beat in like fucking an hour and a half. There really isn't many.
Incredible Crisis. That game's bad. Don't play it.
Yeah, don't do it.
That's all I got going on.
That's all I got. I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm tired of myself. I gotta start breaking my sleep schedule because I gotta start getting up early in the fucking morning.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Take the
see how much time I
train.
got. Gross.
Yeah,
I have insomnia, so I roll out of bed 4 minutes before my job starts because I work at home.
I did work at home, and then I realized it sucks ass. And I'm like, if I had a
That's not
if
that's
I
not the
had
best.
a good remote job, I'd probably enjoy it. But what I'm doing now is so fucking stupid. It was losing my shit.
Yeah, don't blame me there.
Yeah. So
All right,
yeah,
well, that was it. Hey guys, thank you for joining us again. This was Tiny Dynamite episode 40. We said six,
it's
right?
46. Yeah.
Hey, it says so at the bottom of the screen. So 46. Thank you guys for coming, like you always do. Stay tuned. We'll try to post a schedule if we're gonna be doing a stream. I'm definitely gonna be streaming some Zelda versus Metroid. If you guys want to watch me swear at the screen again. Maybe I'll stream some competitive Tetris. Who the fuck knows? I can throw on OBS just like everyone else can once in a while. So. Yay, it's
Yeah.
streaming! Come back
Yeah.
next week for more shit between me and Tom, and we'll answer your chats. And yeah, thanks for joining us. Stay
Yep.
safe.
Keep it
See you
real.
next week.
Bye.